old Sneelock. Welcome to another episode of Old Sneelock's Workshop. Well, I made another trip to a little town called Marshall. And in Marshall they have this cool little antique store called Granny's Attic. And Granny's Attic always has really nice stuff. The thing that I managed to find this time when I went to Granny's Attic wasn't a big thing, but it is very neat. I have an attraction to measurement too. From when I was a kid and I borrowed my dad's combination square and his tape measure to try and build something, I've always wanted to have good tools that I could count on to do a good job of drawing a line or making a measurement. So when I went into Granny's Attic and found something called a combination square head, thought this was pretty cool. The heads for combination squares are actually pretty common. You can find them around. They don't often have the little keeper. The keeper is what allows you to use when you find a combination square head, quite often you don't find it with a rule. But the rules are actually fairly easy to find. You can still get good ones, both antique or used like this one, and you can buy them new. And even the new ones come with a groove in them. Now if you buy a new set, it's going to have one of these, but this part's going to be made out of aluminum. They don't hold square very well. This is made out of cast steel. And that groove lets it anchor right into that head, and now I have a combination square with a good solid head on it that I probably am going to have to do some tweaking on it because it's kind of dirty and rusty, and I imagine it's a little bit out of square. But with a good reference square and some time and a little bit of stoning, I could bring this back to be just as good as the day it was made. $3. Now, the level and the handle works, that's always a plus. Quite often those are broken. A little glass vial in there gets snapped. The little scribe is missing, but I bet I can make a scribe to fit it. I have some of them with a scribe in them, and that's kind of a neat thing to have. The scribe is just a little hardened steel peg, usually with a brass knob for a handle, that goes in there and pushes in and latches into that hole. Makes it so that you can use it as a scribe to scribe a piece of steel with. As a tool maker, I used a very similar piece of equipment, just as rough layout. Usually we used engineering squares and height gauges to do most of the layout for dies and fixtures. But a little thing like this comes in handy.